My account is sending out random NFTs. Am I hacked? Let's find out today. Hi everyone, I'm Wimi and today I want to show you a thread that 0xCigar did on Twitter. I always wanted to do a write-up on this topic as well, but Cigar did it before me and he does it much better than I could explain it, so we're just going through the thread. Cigar states that it takes 23 lines of code to copy this scam, and let's find out how scammers are making it seem like we are sending out random NFTs to other people's addresses. In this thread, Cigar stated that he clearly wasn't doing this transfer, so how can it be that it appears that he sent this scam NFT out in his wallet? A lot of the applications are finding out about NFT transfers in a function that is coded into the smart contract, which is called emit an event. OpenSea and Etherscan both listen to the events that are created from the smart contracts. This is why you see it displayed this way on OpenSea in the first place. This gets a little technical right here, but Cigar attached a good example of a Polygon scam. In this case, Cigar points out that the 0xE091 wallet, which is actually here, marked as a sender, isn't actually a sender of this token. How in the hell is that possible? If you click to see more down here, and then you go down to the input data, and you do make this window very big so you can actually read it, you could then click on decode input data and then it shows you a much more readable transaction. So you see that the function fulfill advanced order was called, and this is basically a sale on OpenSea. If we now use Ctrl F to search for the 0xE091, we only see it here and here. So we're just seeing it in a transaction and not actually in the input data where you would expect the seller to pop up. This looks sketchy, yep, but now Cigar dives in really deep. He goes into the log files up here and then he searches for that wallet address again. So we're looking again for the E091. And actually down here in the 251 we're actually finding this wallet address. Again, this is super in-depth, but Cigar now goes ahead and reverse searches the topic that is called here, and if you search that topic, and if you view that on the Ethereum signature database and click on it, you will then see that this hex signature reversed is a text signature, which is a transfer single. Cigar attached this code and said this is an example of the code that would mimic the scam, which would then basically just replicate it, right? So he calls the contract for a scam token, which is an ERC 1155 token. He sets the main ID to 10. There's a constructor of the ERC 1155 token. Then there's a function which is able to mint tokens from an address to and an amount that you want to be minting. And then we have the actual safe transfer from function, which includes an address from, an address to, and then again an ID and an amount. But down here we have a public override function, and this is just emitting an event. Again, OpenSea and Etherscan are listening to emitted events. And then down here you can see transfer single message sender, which is the wallet address that is interacting with the contract, any address, ID and amount. So you can just basically spoof in any addresses you want to and emit that event to the chain. Cigar went ahead and tried his own scam code out on the girly testnet. And as you can see again, here's the 0xE091 wallet again, and if we look it up down in the code right here, it's the same result as before. We don't find it because Cigar just mimicked the scam. As a conclusion, Cigar gives a few advices that we can take on with. One being, look closely through the Etherscan details. The from section should be the buyer because they would have initiated the transfer, and the seller's address should appear in the seaport input data. If that's not the case, we should be worried. Second, we should look at our OpenSea activity, because the activity of a specific address can be faked, but the actual sales activity cannot be faked. So in this example, we should be noticing that all transfers go from one address to another except the one above, which actually got scammed, it looks like. Third tip is we should be looking through the contract code on Etherscan, because in almost every scan the token contract is unverified because they want to hide what's happening, obviously. So if the contract isn't verified, and that just means the code has been submitted to Etherscan and matches the one on the blockchain, we shouldn't be trusting it. Fourth advice is don't be fooled. You are not getting free money on the blockchain and scammers are not stupid. And another heads up is this happens on Polygon because obviously it's much cheaper to deploy smart contracts to Polygon and just mass spam everyone with fake airdrop NFTs and stuff like that. Stay safe everyone, make sure you follow @0xCigar on Twitter for more of these helpful threads. See you soon.